Hello everyone, I'm Rohit and this is the day 2 of the Integration Hub training. In this day, we are going to build our own custom JIRA action. So this is our own custom JIRA action. I know that in ServiceNow we have a spoke called JIRA spoke. So if you install the JIRA spoke, all this action will be automatically installed. But as we are learning from the beginning, what I want to build our own custom action in the day 2 so that you know that how we can build the JIRA action or how we can build any of the action, not the JIRA, any kind of action. So as we discussed in our earlier class, before we are building or before we are doing integration, we should know these at the point. So very first thing is that why do we need the integration? We know that to connect between story and issue in the JIRA tools. Maybe you think that why I pick the JIRA or why I'm talking about the JIRA tools, because JIRA tools is a simple tool and then most of the user is familiar of the JIRA tools. So that's the reason I'm taking the JIRA example. In our upcoming sessions, we are going to pick various tools like Google Drive, Slack, Box. There are various other tools we are going to use. But for the moment, we are going to pick the JIRA example. So whenever the story will be created to the ServiceNow side, the story should be go to the JIRA side. Let's assume that this is a outbound for the moment. Next, how to trigger that? We'll trigger from the flow. So we are going to trigger from the flow whenever the story will be created. Now we need these are the information. So these are the information for the integration. First thing is that we need to find out the endpoint and then we need to find out the credential. So let's go back to that my JIRA site and then I'll show you that all these details. So this is the JIRA project that I have created called servicenowrohit.atlassian.net. So this is my website link and then here I have created, I can go and click the view all project. You will be able to find out that lot of projects I have created. So let's pick the training project. So our goal is that whenever a story will be created to the ServiceNow site, let's say that any story which is going to be created in ServiceNow side, that story should be come to this JIRA as a issue. We can click this button and then we can create the issue type equal to story. So this is not going to, we are not going to do that manually. Whenever this story will be created to this ServiceNow side, this should automatically come to the JIRA side. Now for that, we need to first read the documentation. Reading the documentation is a very important, because if you don't have the JIRA team or in-house JIRA team, you should read the documentation. So let's go back to here and then search API documentation. The moment you search that, you can see that the first page is called JIRA Cloud Platform REST API. I can open that. So this is the documentation I have gone through. So I want you to go through first and then build that. So this is the JIRA documentation. And if I go back, what do you want? We want to create an issue, right? So you will go to this issue section. If I click that, if you see the list left side, there are various method are available. So what do you want? We want to create a issue. So we'll click this create an issue. And the moment you click the create an issue, it giving some sample code, sample thing, right? So if you see that here in the right side, there are different kind of language we have. So you can see that fork, CURL, Node.js, Java, Python, PHP, but there is no section about the service now, right? So let's go to the CURL. I like to the CURL that have all the information. So I want that, or I want to you to understand that. So first thing, what we need a method. What method we are going to use that? We are going to use the post method. What should be the URL? URL should be, this is the URL that we are going to hit that. Your domain is nothing but I need to be replaced with the ServiceNow, I mean Snow Expert Rohit, this one. And then if you see that, if I, so this is the our URL, this is the credential. So how we can pass the credential? In the credential, we need to pass our email address, then colon, then we should generate a API token and that we need to be passed that. And if you see the header, in the header, we need to pass the accept.application/JSON and then header, we need to pass the content type equal to application/JSON. This we need to be passed. And in the data, we need to be passed these all our information. So this is the how we should pass the JSON format. So this is the sample thing they have provided. We should convert it to in our own actions, right? So let's build that. So let's go back to the service now. And then first I will install that, Agile 2.0 that plugins which have the stories and others modules available. So I'll just search with that Agile. So I'm going to install that Agile Development V2. So this plugin, I'm going to install that. I'll just install that. And after that, I will do all this setup, integration setup. So my Agile Development plugins is successfully installed. Now, if I search here in the left navigation called Stories, I should be able to see a module called you can see under the Agile Development, I should be able to see one. This is the modules that I'm talking about, the Stories module. Now, a requirement is that the moment you are going to create a story record here, I'm going to create a new story. That record is going to be automatically created to this, JIRA board. Okay, so that is our requirement. To fulfill this requirement, first, what we want, we need to be integrate that. So we need to integrate with ServiceNow to these JIRA tools. So first step is that we need to be integrate. We can integrate various way the sessions or the class we are doing that integration hub. So we will do the integration through the integration hub. So for that, first we have to go to the flow designer. As you know that integration hub is directly related to the flow designer, my recommendation should be go and watch the flow designer if you have not checked my flow designer series. So first thing first, we are going to create a new action, right? So first we'll click this create new and then click the action. The moment we click the action, the dialog box is showing. Let's say that I want to create a issue or I want to create a story to the JIRA. So I'll say that so this is my action name. I'll click submit. So the moment you click the submit, you can see that the action form is created. Let's say that what all data I want to populate. The first thing first, I want to put that short description and description. These two fields I want to put that because these two are string field and very simple. So that's the reason I want to put the short description and then description into the JIRA side. So whatever short description and description I'll put here, the same short description will be put under this story. That's what my simple requirement is. So as you know that we need to be create a input, right? So first I'll click this create input and then first what we need to be define two inputs. Let's say that short description. I'll put this short description as a mandatory. Now, after we get this input, we want to do some integration through this integration hub. So what we do, I'll click this plus sign. The moment you click the plus sign, there will be a pop-up, you can see. And if you minimize that, you can see that there are three sections. One is the ServiceNow data, utilize, and then integration. So we want to click this integration. And then what type of integration we want? We want the REST integration. So we'll select the REST integration. Okay. So what we want a REST integration. Now, under this REST integration, you can see this connection. So if you see that this connection means that you can select this connection aliases or else you can select this define inline. The moment you select the define inline, you need to define this URL, base URL. Or else if you see this use connection aliases, that the moment you select that connection aliases, this base URL is the read only field, right? So we are going to do through the connection aliases. Two options available. Either you use the connection aliases or you can use this define inline. So let's take a connection aliases. What does it mean by connection aliases? Let's first understand that.